everyone. Today I'm joined with my very special guest, Bhanpriya. How are you doing today?
Hi, Manny. I'm good, Manny. And how are you doing?
We were just talking about the technical stuff that goes on because, like, there's people who complain sometimes saying that they can't hear my voice. So I did purchase this microphone, but when I put the microphone on, my guess it sounds like they're in an echo chamber or like in a disco club. So we have to take that off. So I have to speak loud. Um, but this is the age of technology. Where are you calling from today?
I am from Uttarakhand, India, and Uttarakhand is called Devbhumi,
And Dev
land of
Bhumi,
Devbhumi, the land of deities,
the land of deities. So,
gods.
so there's lots of gods in
Yeah,
Uttarakhand.
lots of dhams also here.
What's the most popular one?
Kedarnath,
And for our
uh,
audience,
but
Kedarnath is
Kedarnath is a Jyotirling of Lord Shiva.
okay. So it's a
One
avatar of Lord Shiva.
no, no, it's a body part of Shiva worship there.
Oh, I see. Okay, and which
Actually, in India, there are 12 Jyotirlings, and one is in Uttarakhand.
and what part of the body is it?
It is, I think, I'm not sure about it. I think it's the upper, below the body, below torso part.
Oh, okay,
Is there.
wonderful. So we'll probably hopefully go into detail about Hindu religion and mythology because it's very interlinked with twin flames as well. So
Yeah,
before we start, do you have any social media platforms that you want people to be able to reach out to you on?
yeah. I'm on Instagram with the handle name Elevating Your Consciousness.
Elevating. And what do you provide?
The services are diverse. I'm a intuitive artist. I do auto drawings, and I am a runes. I cast runes, and I do tarot. I do oracle, and I'm also an animal communicator.
Oh wow, so many things. So tarot and oracle. Well, what did you say? You cast views, cast
Runes,
or the runes. The
Viking runes. Yeah, the 28 pebbles.
okay, and they come from. Do they come from the Celtic tradition?
Yeah, yeah, Celtic tradition.
Wonderful. And you say you speak with animals, so is that telepathically?
Yeah, yeah,
And so they can understand you?
yeah. They can. They respond also.
So give us an example, like if there's a cat and you say, "Come here," or "Sit down," or "Stop this," they what do they say? Are they very loving or
I think the animal communication doesn't work that way. We are not controlling them, like not commanding them. We're just conversing with them, like how are you doing? Like in 3D, it might appear that the cat is not listening to you. It might appear, but at soul level, they are connected to you. And I have conversed with many animals, even trees also. Not only animals. And when you start telepathy, it is not limited to animals only. Then it comes to humans, to to like your uh, trees also, everything, like even your non-living things also. Okay, everything is energy, everything has consciousness, so it works for everything, even a building also.
wow? So that's going to be interesting to talk about, especially with twin flames. Now, have you had this gift from when you were small or later?
Yeah, it was there since I was a child. I used to talk to spirits. uh, I used to talk to spirits. Someone was there with me all my childhood. I couldn't see the person, but I could talk. I thought it was my imagination at that time, but now that I see it, there was someone with me.
And
There has been someone.
and your
Yeah.
family, they believed you, or they thought you were just making it up?
Uh, at starting, they didn't believe me. I had to had a very rough childhood, and so they didn't believe me for a long time. And now, when I reach this age, now they're like okay with it.
Do,
I'm okay with it.
do you see these beings, or you hear them, or feel them?
I see them in my third eye, not in like it is not like good to appear like. It is not, our eyes are not that pure, so we can see those beings. My eye is not that pure, I think, but in my third eye I can see them. That it is more of a feeling for me.
More of a feeling. So your third
Yeah,
eye would be here, right?
yeah,
So from there, do you get a visual or it's like a
yeah,
feeling?
visual.
A visual. Oh, you get a
Visuals
visual.
too. Sometimes there are voices also.
And what do they look
So
like?
the ball of light.
Ball of light. Okay. So you said you had a tough childhood upbringing. So would you like to share anything about how your childhood was, your background? You come from which family? Hindu family or?
Yeah, I come from a Hindu Kshatriya family. So there was a lot of gender disparities.
Mm.
It was like coming on, passed on from generations to generations. The want of a boy, a male child, and there was, although my parents did not, like when we were born, they did not discriminate with us, but there was something uh, like my want to be a boy. There was constant yearning to be a boy, so that I my family accepts me. So I had a rough childhood in sense that it took me a lot of time to accept my sexuality also.
So let's talk about that. So are you the only child or you have sisters or brothers?
We are five siblings.
All girls?
No, we are three girls and two boys.
And are you the eldest child or the middle or?
I'm the middle one. I have an elder sister and a younger sister, and all are. I'm the second one actually.
Oh, okay. So the
Yeah,
boys came later. So
later.
when you were born, you were the only, like there was only girls in the house, and your parents, like they do in India, wanted a boy because they think it's better for the name and the ancestry and
Yeah,
the money and all that kind of stuff because the girls have to be married off or whatever. So did you feel like you were a masculine in a feminine body?
yeah.
And
I felt it at many times.
how did that feel to you when you were young then? So you felt I'm masculine energy, but I'm in a physical female. How did you manage?
Honestly speaking, I used to reject my body for a long period of time. I didn't like my body. I didn't want to be in that body, and I used to cry all the time. I used to think of ending my life for no reason. For no reason. I was so suicidal even when I was a kid. I was very suicidal. I had so many suicidal thoughts. Ki, like, end this. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. Constant urge to like no.
And did you have behavior or clothes like boys or girls? Did you have any preference, desire for wearing or doing like sports or anything different? Were you different?
I did not like wearing typical girlish clothes. So I always selected clothes from men's section, mostly t-shirts. I wore t-shirts mostly. I was not comfortable with these suits and all. Now I'm wearing. Now I have accepted my feminine side too. So now I'm wearing those things. Earlier, when I was child, I used to be like I was happy to be dressed like a boy.
And then you said your sexuality as well. So do you wanna, if you're comfortable, share like what is that?
Uh, can you just repeat the question? I didn't get it.
Because you said that it affected your sexuality. So are you attracted to uh, men, women, or not asexual, or I don't know?
Yeah, I when I think about it, from my childhood, I had crushes. I had all the crushes. Even my longest relationship, 7 years relationship, was with a girl.
And how did your family? Did they know that you were having a relationship with girls?
They kind of knew it, in their heart, in their like they knew it. They tried to conceal it because I was concealing it. I was not open about it. So they later part when this thing ended, like when the thing ended, right? So when my awakening started happening, the first thing I did, uh, to come out in my family, that time I told them about my relationship with the girl, and they did not took it very well
They
at that time.
and then how did you, like, what did you do? Were you living with them? Did they pressure you? Like, was there an internal, because in the society where you live, do you live in a
Hmm.
big city or village, or where
It's
do
a
you,
small town. It's a small town.
and how's the society there?
Very conservative, I would say.
And now how do you identify yourself?
At that time when my family, I told all the things, right? So somewhere I tried to like make things okay, and I tagged myself as a bisexual because they were looking for a groom for me, right? So for their happiness, so I said I'm also attracted to boys. I just made it up that I can try this, right? But so they started finding groom for me, but nothing actually happened. The things didn't click, and then today when I like met my person, my twin flame, I I accepted my sexuality at that time.
So let's talk about meeting your twin flame then. How did you meet? Who is this twin flame?
In the year 2019, I had an awakening. Uh, I was introduced to meditation practices, and I was like for 2 years in straight I was a celibate. I was a very uh, I had a very high urge like to like to be a monk. I lived like a monk for 2 years straight. I had no urges, sexual urges, no thoughts at all, and I lived in like pure pure like bliss for 2 years straight. Then with a dream came to me, and I was sexualized in that dream. And now I realize it was my twin flame. And then I met her. Uh, I won't disclose the person is, uh, but she has mentored me. She has been my mentor for like 2 years, and there was soul recognition, but the mind did not recognize each other. And it was only last year uh, I finally got over this amnesia and the awakening.
The amnesia she also had, or only you had?
I think she knew it much earlier than I was aware of.
So she would be the divine feminine and you are the divine masculine?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So usually the divine masculine is a little bit slow. Why do you think that is?
I didn't hear you. Sorry.
Why do you think the divine masculine is slower to recognize?
I had so many trauma. I was escaping actually. I had feelings for her from the day one actually, but I like she was married, so I tried to put it in like no, you can't go there. Like it was very escaping mode of mine to escape those feelings. Like no, you can't feel it again because I was hurt earlier in a similar relationship. So I was like no, escaping it. No, 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 no. It's a big no. Don't go there. It will hurt you again. So
And for the viewers watching, how did you know this was your twin flame? So you had a dream, and then
yeah.
how did you meet? Like, did you meet on the street, at a meditation, in the temple? Where did you meet the person, and how did you know after this is twin flame?
We have never met in person yet, but it was all online. It was all telepathic connection with us from the start, from the very start. We never, through dreams also, we conversed to each other. There were some specific movies, clippings of movies also, which was shown to me by the divine, which which was a reason of my awakening.
So
to the
how
connection.
how did you know this person was your twin flame? What's the signs, synchronicities, dreams, the telepathy? Because sometimes people they're like, is it a karmic? Is it a soulmate? Is it a twin flame? Some people are like just wishing and living romantically or being hurt, and it's not twin flame.
Yeah, actually, I would say there was not one sign, but many signs. Like the synchronicities were there, the dreams, her telling me to go somewhere, like to some specific places. Uh, and only after when I went there, uh, the awakening happened for me.
And because you're like telepathic, so when you were first meeting, were you not picking up? Because you said it took you time. Did you not pick up? You're like, oh, this is soul, soul, soul. You didn't pick it up.
Actually, I had a dream. Actually, just before my amnesia got over, I was running. I was like, I had a crush in my school. Uh, for it was very short lived with a boy for I think months. For a month, I think it was more of a strong relation, a strong friendship with him. So he appeared again in my life. So in my mind, I was again thinking to go after him, like because I was searching for my like I was like in my unconsciously I was searching, right. So I thought maybe he's the one. So it was constant yearning for a month, for a week, I think. And that in that week, I got a dream where she came up and she was so angry. She was so angry, and she threw a card on me like it was a Shiva card. And a Damru was there, and just she was smiling, and she threw it on my face, and she was so angry at me.
I want to talk to you about dreams, but before we get into dreams, I want to talk to you about Shiva Shakti. A lot of twin flames I talk to, even from Western culture, other culture, non-Hindu culture, they see divine masculine as Shiva or the energy of Shiva, and they feel the Shakti energy in themselves, and they have dreams or they connect to Shiva Shakti. Why is this so like for twin flames a thing? It is, I feel.
I think it's not only Shiva. I think it's all the masculine. When I connect with masculine energy, I tap to every divine masculine ever been on earth, like Lord Ram, Lord Krishna, everyone I connect. I'm not one at what, like sometime I feel like Krishna energy, somewhere I feel like Shiva energy, sometimes I feel like another incarnation of any masculine. So it's not one, it's collectively. We are shapeshifters, right? So it shifts.
So, do you think the divine masculine holds that divine energy of the gods?
Yeah, but only if we are in that vibration, right? We are holding that because we reach there, we come down, then we reach there. It is like fluctuations.
Some people have not reached there yet. Some divine masculines are still on the ground, very distorted. So, why do you think there's so much distortion in the world?
I think the way we have played with the nature, I think the wanting of the ego traps, like we want specific gender to be born with us, and by doing that we are trying to take control of what is with the nature. That control is with the nature, and it should be with the nature. We need to be accepting of it. And actually I think that is why we are being born in same bodies. There is a purpose to it, so that we are here to balance that thing again.
So, it's to break the control and the
Yeah,
paradigms because people are trying to, out of ego and fear, control and
so they need to
manipulate.
accept it. They need to accept these same genders now. They need to accept it now.
And do you think in India they're accepting now?
Some families, like now in year 2024, when I am here talking to you, only because I have come to a place of acceptance with myself. And when I accepted myself fully, then only My family was also okay with it. Suddenly it changed for me. So it's like I'm changing myself. Not I cannot change others. I can only change myself. When I change myself, so slowly, steadily, the immediate reality changed for me.
And that is the case also with the twin flame journey, right? Or any journey, just everything is a mirror and a projection. Everything is a reflection of you, and you create your reality. So, self acceptance, self love, self focus, self nurturing, all that kind of stuff is what takes you to ascension, right? I want to talk about
Right.
dreams, and then I want to talk about your current situation, the journey, the running, chasing. Obviously, because you said your twin flame was married, and then I want to talk about like your spiritual journey and Hinduism as well. So let's talk about dreams first. Have you always had very like premonition dreams, dreams that tell the future? Have you always had that?
Yeah. And actually, I was not aware of it. It was only in the year 2015, 14, 15, I think. Actually, I had a premonition of my father's death. And that dream came to me not once, not twice, it came to me thrice. And there was some things involved there which was not in alignment with the divine being done. So my father actually went to a very he was an alcoholic. So he had a very painful death. So that shook me actually, and I think he was the trigger for my journey to start.
I'm sorry to hear that. So you've always had very prophetic dreams about what's going to happen. And are you the only one in your family, or does the rest of your family also have this ability?
They I have my siblings are actually they are also having this ability, but they are not awakened to it to that extent. They are now when I have transcended so many things. Now they are beginning to go deeper.
So you let's talk about your transcendence. So you said you after 2019 you had an awakening because what happened to you? You went to what caused your awakening? And what is an awakening? What does that mean?
I reached a point. I think for me, I was in some things were revealed to me, which for a child, what I would not talk about here.
So
But
too
it
much
was very,
suffering,
it
lots
was
of
very painful thing. It was mentally so much pain that I cried so much that day that I think I would die. My brain would explode, and I just pleaded to God that please do stop it now. I can't take it anymore, please. So that I think that was the end of my mental agony, and I was called to a 10-day retreat. I went to a 10-day retreat in Mount Abu, and started my meditations, and
it was
there, yeah,
Vipassana retreat.
it was a no, not Vipassana. It was a center of Brahma Kumaris. It's a spiritual organization there. So they had their main center there in Mount Abu. So I had a chance to go there for 10 days. So I was introduced to meditation practices, and my mind was very clear and calm when I came back from there. So I think that mental agony I experienced was like the last point till when I had to suffer for that. And after that, it was all gone. So my lesson was complete. So I was uh, fast forward to next step.
And what
So
things have you done spiritually to advance yourself? What things do you recommend? Like, what have you done yourself?
uh, first of all, I think one thing everyone in this journey should be aware of is keep learning something new, and don't think like you know it all, because that know it all thing brings in so much spiritual ego with it. and that is not correct, because then you come from one cage to another. You liberate from one cage, then you come to another, and then you are entangled again. So I think for a person to be in this path is constant learning, unlearning, and relearning.
And what have you been doing to learn? Like, how have you? What's this your inner work that you've been doing?
Yeah, I actually I had done many workshops online, in person too, and whatever calls to me, like, and I meditate every day. That's one thing I do. At least 10-minute meditation. I make sure that I do it every day, because it keeps me like on in alignment to my soul. And I keep I'm a painter. I paint. I do auto drawings, so that enhances my intuition, because these drawings are not like some things thought of pre. I'm like, I cannot know okay, what I'm drawing. It only when I start painting only, and slowly the scene becomes clear. So that needs a lot of surrender in itself.
And the
But
ego doesn't always
yeah,
want to surrender. So I want to talk more about like oftentimes people ask me, Manny, how do I know I'm divine feminine, divine masculine? And I usually say divine feminine, spiritual, more awakened, the one who understands first, figures it out, especially for the twin flame journey. Divine masculine often is a bit late, slower, a little bit finds out later. It's very rare to find spiritual, I believe, divine masculines. Can you talk a little bit about also, I think this is my thinking. I think if a female body has the energy of a divine masculine, they are more in touch with the feminine spiritual side. I think it's a little bit easier. But then if you have a
it's easier.
male body and then the masculine energy inside the male body, it's like double ego. What do you
Double
think?
ego.
What do you think?
You are very correct. And I think the female body makes it easier because Shakti is already there, right? Shakti part is already in tune with it. Like the Shakti part is her itself, or him itself. So it is, she's already here.
So explain to us a little bit about Shakti energy and Shiva energy, and if you do know chakras, kundalini, but we'll start with Shiva Shakti energy, if you know.
I think Shiva and Shakti, we think they are two things, but uh, there is a story in Purans when Shiva, actually when the creation was not happening, right? Brahma, when it started the creation, so he did made humans, but they all became monks, and they just started Harinam, and there was no reproduction happening. Then they went to Shiva, that this is not happening. What is this? Like, how the creation will work if they don't populate, if they don't come together, the energies don't come together, then how the creation will happen? Then Shiva had to separate a part of himself from him, and that is Shakti. That is why Shiva is shown like crying all the time for that part of, because after that part went away from him, he became very detached. And for me, I think detachment is not a very good thing. In sense, I think being unattached is better than detachment, because detachment, there is some grief there.
So the original Shiva had um, was in union with Shakti within, and he
Yeah,
separated himself because Brahma, the god, supreme god, wanted to create humans, but they weren't procreating; they were being, celibate. So when he split himself, he obviously detached and was mourning his other feminine part, and then that was transferred into humans.
yeah. And as we see, like twin flames are very rare, right? They are not like everywhere. They're rare, and they are very classes. I don't want to go into that. We start and all, but when twin flames, I think they are the energy fragment of Shiva and Shakti themselves.
So, like, there's so many different theories and beliefs. So, I want to hear your perspective. And also, maybe if you can talk about it from a Hindu or an Indian perspective, is fine also. You said twin flames are very rare. Do you? So, how does that work? Because you said Shiva Shakti energy split to create humanity to procreate. And if twin flames are rare, then I see many people procreating in the world. So what is going on there? So does everyone have a twin flame or what? What's going on?
I think it's more about being awakened to it, because not everybody choose awakening in their lifetimes.
But does the divine masculine choose awakening? Because oftentimes they are running into the other direction.
And I think, well, I think like there's a lot of things. When I used to read about divine masculines in Quran and all, I used to get very disheartened actually.
Yes.
Because yeah, because there was so much like written about like us as a person, like their villains and all things. I used to feel so much bad, like no, we are not like that.
Tell us.
Actually, we are mirroring you actually
Are you
in
consciously
some way.
doing it or unconsciously doing it?
For me, earlier it was very unconscious, because it had to be unconscious, right? You would, there's a part of me would never agree to hurt her, never. But there's a part of me, for the ascension of us as a whole, I have to do it. So my higher self knows. A part of me in the background knew it, but this version of mine, like that version of mine that hurt her, didn't know it.
And then do you get hurt as well?
Yeah, many times, many times.
Do you think the divine masculine suffers more?
I think it's both ways, because I can feel the pain of hers and she can feel the pain of mine. So what is mine is hers and what hers is mine. So we both suffer equally.
And earlier we talked about the divine masculine in a feminine body. Often it's easier for them to connect to the DF energy, the divine feminine energy, and the Shakti energy. And then I'm obviously a divine feminine, but in a male body. So I am very spiritual, but I also think I connect with the Shiva energy quite easily because I'm very good at manifesting and physical life, like abundance and things like that, are very easy for me. But then I'm in a same sex also connection. And, being same sex, it comes with a lot of other things, right? The programs of society. And with my connection, we're definitely working on guilt and shame and sexuality because oftentimes we are reduced to sex like, oh, they want to be with the same gender because they are horny or sex addicts or something like that. It's like they don't want to procreate like God wants. They want them to, it's just lust. It's lust. That's what we are classified. I don't know if you feel the same, but gay men are
Yeah,
classified
yeah,
as
I
just
feel the
lust.
same. I feel the
So
same.
then basically a lot of gay men out there and lesbians, especially they're doing all the drugs, they're doing all the lustful things because they think, okay, you say I'm lust, I will do lust. The love is lost. The love is lost. And I feel like there's not as many twin flames that are LGBTQ, like lesbian, gay, I have come across, but I feel like we are dealing with different programs that we are smashing templates. What do you have to say?
I think we all have our purposes, and I think for me, it's acceptance. Because you also know the story of Shiva and Shakti marriage, right? How they did. So when Shiva was at the
Can explain
entrance,
explain for our audience, please.
yeah, when Shiva, I think Shiva is all about acceptance. And when they had so many hurdles when they were getting married, and the main hurdle when actually Manavati, the mother of Shakti Parvati, had a dream before she was born that I'm birthed in your family and I will be married to Shiva. So don't create any hurdles for me. Let me be, right? Because in her earlier incarnation as Sati, she was not let by their family, and that ended very badly for her. So, despite of she disclosing that to her mother, when finally there was the day of marriage, Manavati was Manavati, when she saw Shiva as a Shankar, like in Jata, in Bhasam, and all that things, like aesthetics, like
Yeah, the way he
so
looked,
she,
he
uh,
looked
why
very,
he, the way he looked, and she was like, she got a very panic attack, and she fainted.
like when we see our twin flame.
She fainted actually. So Shiva is all about acceptance, and Shiva can is not about looking like everything. He will be ugly, and truth is ugly. I think truth is not that like you so much to be fried on plates and so much lovey-dovey. Uh, truth is very very ugly.
So, do you think the divine masculine appears in all the ugliness to kind of show the truth, to heal?
Yeah, show truth to the society, the patterns they have, because when you accept, because when you say we are spiritual and all things, and when you see two gay couples and two lesbian couples, we are judging them. We are not like no 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 no. So where there comes the part of acceptance, and I think we are here to teach humanity that acceptance.
So let's backtrack, and I'm really finding this fascinating. So we'll backtrack a little bit. But I'll first summarize. So a lot of divine masculines come in that Shiva energy of ugliness or truth, which is the raw truth. Look, there is judgment, there's mess, and we are going to show it to the world. Because I do find like a lot of divine masculines, they show it's very external and it's very in your face, whereas the feminines hide it very very well. So I understand that, and that's why it needs to be done. So you are triggered to heal. I understand it. But let's talk about the Shiva story. So Shiva split himself in Shiva Shakti to help humans procreate. And then what happened? He was longing for his partner, right? And then
Right.
what was the story after? Because you talked about Sati and various things. So let's talk about the incarnations of Shakti energy, and she also comes as Durga, and the Kundalini will come to that as well. So Shiva split in half, and then what happened?
I think the most talked about story is about Sati and Shiva. And Sati, I think it took many births for Shakti to finally come in alignment with Shiva. So, and the Shiva actually wears 84, like 84 mundmalas.
The mala beads, yeah.
Yeah, Shiva wear 84 mundmalas.
Why?
And when Shiva was asked about it, like in stories, so he told that it is they are the munds of Shakti incarnations,
Her different incarnations. So she had
are
84.
different
She had
kinds.
84 incarnations before she was ready to meet him.
Yeah, it
And
was.
what do you think that was because of trauma, distortion, amnesia?
Yeah, because there was soul fragmentation also. Like when you the story tells, right, when Sati did that Atmadaha, she went to fire, and that body was cut into pieces by Lord Vishnu, and it was thrown over all over India, and there are Shakti pieces there.
So why was she thrown into the fire?
She actually called upon fire because her father insulted Shiva in front of everyone. In the, like in all they between all they, he's a Mahadev, right? He wasn't called to that ceremony, and also in that ceremony, he was insulted by her father. So she couldn't listen to it, and
Fabulous.
she ended her life.
Okay. So, do you believe that in Hinduism, twin flames is embedded? Because you have the male god, the female god. Do you believe that that energy has always been? Is it explicitly spoken about?
Yeah, like not spoke. It not spoken, but I tell you as a practice Hindus do, which will tell you about it, because when I didn't know about it, but I used to do it. when I used to light a diya, right? Light a diya. So I always made sure I was connecting two batis, two threads, and making one
And a diya is like a oil lamp.
oil lamp, right? It's an oil lamp. So I was not taught that, but I was always doing it. This practice, I always used two threads of cotton and like made them together and
Hmm.
then light the diya. Always. So then later in my life, I came to know from a pundit that we always use this tactics to do that. We always use two threads. We never used one thread. We coil two threads together and then light a diya.
Because of the whole
So
masculine feminine energy.
that's the energy, right?
Okay. And what about the Kundalini energy? Do you know much about that? Have you had a? I'm assuming you would have had a Kundalini awakening, being a twin flame. A lot of people ask what it is and how the Shakti energy comes up and the purification. And is it the same for the divine masculine?
Kundalini Shakti, I think it is not. I think not a one-time process. It happens many times because we are living in a 3D world, right? So it keeps ascending, descending, ascending, descending. It's unless we are we are living in that asexual asexual life, a celibate life, a monk life. For them, it is easy to sustain it. For a householders, for 3D person, so it on ascending, descending. But yes, it ascends when we are there, when there is a soul recognition, they when we are like communicating on energy levels. So yes, first step is that only we actually activate chakras of each other.
Twin flames do.
Yeah,
And they say twin flames share the same chakra system. And so when the Kundalini awakens, I hear different people have different experiences. Some people they have like all sorts of physical, some have emotional. So it's experienced in a different way for everyone, and including feminine, masculine. They experience it the same or different. Do you think?
I think when the kundalini shakti rises for you, right? So first of all, I think one thing happens: whatever is not serving you, whatever is not in alignment with you, has to go.
That's why the life
So
falls apart.
yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes for me, I was very overweight. I was very heavy. Like I am for since my that awakening, I've been losing weight since then, and I'm getting the avenues for like healthy diet, and I've started doing some asanas also. Earlier, I was not able to do them, or I didn't had that like no
Wisdom.
willpower to do
Mm.
that things. But now I had that power to perform asanas, do yoga practices, hot yoga, like for my body. Because for I think for divine masculines, uh, taking care of body is very very important.
More physical. Okay, so let's go
More
back to
physical.
your twin flame journey. We took a little sidestep. So your twin flame journey, was there running and chasing? Because obviously you said she was married. What? How did your and you met in 2000 and was it 19 or 20?
21,
21.
21.
So 2021. So what's your journey been like?
For 2 years, we were like we conversed online. There was very much love, and but I didn't never like never chased. She never chased because at mind level we were connected at 5D only, but we had dreams about each other, and we conversed telepathically also, like giving messages also. But when the soul recognition, when the mind got to know it, when my mind got to know it, so all my traumas actually, because I had a pain body, right? I had a pain body.
All your
So
traumas came up.
came up like a volcano, very much. And I did some things which were meant to happen because for that separation to happen between us, that had to happen, right? So I had that thing. I wouldn't call. I don't resonate with this thing called chaser and runner. I always, I always called myself as a lover. We are lovers, right? So someone is chasing, sometimes some other is chasing. So it's like it's more of part, like she gave me space for performing my unconditional love, and I gave her the space for self love. So it was like it was one soul, it is one soul, right? So at one time we are learning two lessons at a time. So I saw it like that later in my life.
This morning I was watching a video on YouTube. It's quite good. It's two women who are in union. They were talking about the energy and about you push energy and pull energy, right? So if you push on them, they pull away, and that you have to bring it back to soul from mind. So was there any of that going on, the push and pull with your twin flame?
Yeah, push and pull is always there.
They say with
Was
the
there?
divine masculine, if you focus on divine masculine, they focus on everyone else. But if you focus on yourself, they focus on you. And that you should always focus on you, so they focus on you. But then I'm thinking, do the divine masculine ever focus on themselves? How does it work? In your dynamic, what is going on?
For me, I think it was uh, at energy level. What I felt at energy level, she was more into me because all that love bombing and all that things was happening. But at energy level, at 3D, nothing, nothing. At 3D level, I was the one to approach and get rejected at many times. I got rejected because I was not coming from my divine side. So, but I kept coming out like for with some things, and again and again with months, every month, or 15 days, 16 days, or 2 months. So I think I kept get rejecting, and then I just kept coming back. And I saw a pattern there. Whenever she did something to heal herself, whenever she did something to work on her fear or any trauma, when she got over that, uh, I was there appearing in her life again and showing her that, yeah, you have done that.
So when she would heal something, were you healing something, or it automatically healed for you?
Uh, for me, I think I had some other tasks to do. Like my work is more about traveling. My work is more about traveling to certain places, certain energy centers in India, and then being there. And for me, that changed everything. That changes everything.
That's interesting. So it was more physical, I guess, whereas her was more inner. And so you said you had a lot of traumas coming up. So how did you heal or deal or work with those? When you were having the traumas, was it making you, were you thinking it's her fault, she's causing them? Did you realize it's your own? And then what did you do? You said you went to energy centers. How does the divine masculine heal?
Um, initially, when she pushed me away, like, right, so I was mad. Like, I was very mad, and more than being mad, I was very hurt that because the way she did it was exactly the same way it happened earlier. So it was just that thing. So for me, it was like I trusted her a lot. Like, then my trust was very broken. I was very like, I saw like she was some villain for a while. For some moments, I saw that she was taking advantage of me or used me. I felt like a like drones in the bee family, like being used and thrown away. So that I felt actually that time. The queen used me as a like use me, and now I have no use, and I'm being thrown away from the
And
kingdom.
and then do you hate them for a long period, or you no?
It was very momentous actually, and for me the love was more. For me, that love was overpowering everything.
And then
That
how did you heal? Like, was it inner work you do, or you go to energy centers, and then what happens? How do the masculine do the work?
I purged a lot.
How?
I There were some triggers from there for her, from her side, or I say spirits, for my guides. And then I used to cry a lot, like for day, for even there were nights I would go by and I used to cry and cry, like, and that crying was not for out of pain actually. It was out of pain, but I think that pain was already there. It was not her causing it. It was already there, and her triggering that wound, opening that wound, was for me to see ki this is there within you, heal it. And I used to cry a lot for days and days. I used to cry. Then whenever I used to cry, right, I saw a reduction in my weight. I used to see that I have lost weight. It was very
You were
uncanny
letting
thing
go
to
of the
do.
trauma. That's the beauty of the twin flame journey. As you let go of the trauma, you look better.
I look better actually, and I lost so much weight uh, after every like thing. Huh. Also, the guides made sure कि whenever something very triggering was happening to me, I was around some Shiva center or Shivling.
Okay, so you were going to different parts of the world basically, to connect to the energy or the vortexes to heal you physically.
I think so. I think some Shiva has some plan for me. Whenever I touch, I was near some Shivling, or doing some things like putting some water or putting milk on the shivlings, all that, I was in a mode of surrender. I was letting go of that pain and anxiety, trauma, and I was surrendering to him. Like everything goes to him, right? In the end, so I was surrendering to him.
And the beauty is that you had the faith and the knowledge and the belief, and you were, trusting and surrendering. But what about the divine masculines who don't have any connection with God?
And in the end, in the deep down, and for me also, despite of being a spiritual person, for fraction of time of, I think, 2 months or 3 months, 2 months, I was like, I was anti god. I was anti god. I was going through a dark night of the soul, and I didn't believe in, I like, everything is futile for me. Like I was so angry. And at that time, actually, when I hit rock bottom, right, I actually felt the pain of Lucifer also. Actually connected a lot with the fallen angels. It can happen to anybody.
This is interesting because they say the divine masculine goes to the depths of hell.
Yeah, I was in hell. I was burning actually. I could even, I could feel my body burning like in hellfire.
Depths of hell where even they realize their light does not belong there, and it's the light that brings them up,
Yeah,
because the light codes are inside the body. Okay, so what's your current situation with your twin flame? You said she was married. What's going on? It's only been 2 3 years, 3 years, maybe 2.5 years. What's going on, if you want to share?
it's 3 years, and like in separation, it's definitely of course separation only. It's 7 8 months. Uh, I I call this game. I call this dynamic as you have heard about a game, snakes and ladders, right? So until you reach the destination, there is no, you cannot be sure where you are, because one snake bites you, you are again back to pavilion.
But yeah, I think you're always getting more grounded
Yeah,
in the knowing of the truth. So at the moment you're in separation. Is she still with her partner? Is she running,
she's
or
happily married. She's happily married.
do you believe that union will happen for you?
Hope is always there, right? Hope is always there. But I would, at this point of time, earlier I was very like, no, I was so in control. Like I want her only. I would not let her like be happy without me, and all that things were there. Silly naive things were there. But today, as I speak to you, I wish her like all the happiness in the world, and may be she would be the person she loves, and that's true love.
That's
So
total unconditional
if
love and
that person
surrender.
is her true love, then that then she be with him.
And that is total unconditional love and surrender. Any closing message, any advice you'd like to give to our viewers today?
I think this twin flame journey, right? We are here in this 3D matrix now. Now we have overdone it. We have overdone it, right? We have talked about it so much. There are so many perspectives, and when I would like people to use their inner discernment while they go searching for this information, because everything will sound true to you, or you may get triggered by some information, right? So always use your inner compass. Always don't ask for validations from others. Even I can even say this, कि no tarot reader in the world can tell you if this person is a twin flame unless you believe it.
And on that note, before we finish, on TikTok, on Instagram, YouTube, there's a lot of tarot readers, and there's a lot of people who are doing all these things and asking for money. And I used to look at it before, and it's like your twin flame is coming, your twin flame is gonna message tomorrow, tomorrow. Tomorrow never came, and I'm like,
No,
what is this nonsense? Um,
they only keep you in rat race.
why is that?
I think I think maybe a test. They are not like uh, bad people, but they are tests from the divine. I think testing you, because as soon as you read the you say you just watch the reading now, that hope you have turns to obsession.
Because I have my own deck, right? I have a queer tarot deck, but I don't do it. And people ask me, they're like, "Do you do readings? Can I have a reading?" And I'm like, "No." And then when I do my TikTok lives or Instagram lives, some people say, "Can you do readings?" Because I see some of these people, okay, these coaches, twin flame coaches, and companies and business people, I call them businessmen, businesswomen, very smart people who are feeding off other people's insecurities, vulnerabilities, and pain, feeding off the pain, like dark forces do, actually. I find it
Yeah,
quite disgusting. And they will do a live and then they will just do the readings because it's the easiest thing. You got no knowledge here, maybe, or there's nothing left for you to say because what else can you say? It's all done. Like, you could go deeper into God, you can go deeper into spirituality, you can go deeper into ascension and help people get deeper connected within themselves, but rather than doing that, let's focus on the external twin flame and keep showing you cards and cards and cards because it gets us followers, gets us likes, get us comments, get us money, make us rich. And I just think that's a great disservice to people. What do you think?
and money. I would like to say something here also. Ki, uh, you say you do tarot, right? So in tarot, there is a card of devil, right? And devil has put two lovers in chains, and those chains are of attachments of this all these things we are doing. And there is also a card of lovers where there's an angel beside. So these both cards are very much like the two ends of infinity only.
Yeah, that's right.
That there's polarity.
But Bhanupriya,
Yeah.
exceptional interview. I really enjoyed. You answered all my questions. I was really grilling you. I'm really grateful that we connected. I thank you so much for being part of this journey. I wish
uh,
you all the success and love and whatever God has in plan for you. Thank you.
Thank you, money. And God has told me to find money, and I think I money found me.
Yeah, we somehow connected and something happened, and here we are.
I think it was divine time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.